The title of this workshop is Building Your List. Here's what I want you to realize, though. Here's what I want you to start off by taking notes and writing down. Your list size doesn't matter. Your list size doesn't matter if your demos are booked. If you had a call, but you had 10 or so demos in front of you between now and Monday, you wouldn't be worried about it because you know you can turn those 10 demos into anywhere from 50 on a low end to 150, 200 recommendations on a high end, but really it should be about 100. And if not, you should come to a Rex workshop like this. And you should be that confident in your programs. Your list size doesn't matter if your demos are booked because you can get that from referrals. But the key is just to have your schedule booked. Like ultimately, everything we do is to hit your demo goal. Like you want to be a successful representative, just hit your demo goal every week. Like literally, you do 5 demos a week for a year. Typically, 5 demos is going to sell about $1,000. You have a $50,000 a year. You work super part-time, and you'll make about $20,000 in income at your part-time job. Would you be okay with that? Yeah. Right? If you did like 10 demos a week, you sold $2K a week, had $100K a year, made $45,000 selling Cutco. Like it doesn't matter how big your list is or what your average order is. Like at the end of the day, the most important thing is just booking your schedule, hitting your goal, right? So then if your goal is not hit, then you need to ask yourself some questions. So here's the first question I would ask yourself. Am I booked up? So I would start off with, am I booked up? If the answer is no, I would ask myself, do I have people to call? If the answer is yes, just call them. But if the answer is no, or you don't like the people that you have, like you want different people, you're in control of your list. If the answer is no, those first two, step 3 is then you need to look up more numbers and build a base so you can get your demos in front of you the way you want, and you can turn that into recommendations and get the wheel spinning. Like this job, when done correctly, your names and numbers increases week after week after week. If it's ever not, you're doing something wrong. Like selling Cutco is not an art, it's a science. Ask for help, right? I've had representatives before, they would be getting like 2 and 3 referrals, but they wouldn't say anything until they had like 10 people on their list. And it's like, it would have been much easier to fix this 2 weeks ago and get you getting 10 to 20 referrals on every demo, and then this is not a problem. But if you're ever in a place where you need to get you're behind the 8 ball and you need to improve that in a dramatic way, realize you can do that a handful of times in your Cutco career. Like it's not something you can do once or twice or 3 times. Like I know I've been on this job 11 years, and I could go back to people I saw my first summer and get more names and numbers now because in the last 11 years they've met people, right? Like even my unsocial dad's like changed jobs in the last 2 years, so he like has new coworkers, right? So you can go back to the well a few times, but the easiest thing to do is just to do it right one time. So this is how to do it correctly the first time. It goes in gears. So it's the same gear as how you call people, but it's also reaching out to those people for names and numbers. So the first gear, close friends and family. You got to realize you're in a different situation now than when you started, unless you're in here and you just started. Like, now friends and family, they can see you're taking this seriously, right? They can see you've gotten some good results. They can see people are loving the product, right? I mean, I think about for just any recommendation, you look at like the big 5 areas. So it doesn't matter if it's your mom or it doesn't matter if it's a lady that you don't know at all, you're just doing a demo for. Like these are the 5 go-to areas. And then from building rapport and knowing their hobbies, knowing their interests, knowing what they do for fun, that's how you can pull other areas. But number 1 is coworkers. Like most people you're going to see either have a job or self-employed, so they have coworkers or clients. And realize they can hook you up. Like my mom's a relations banker. Like, she could have gotten fired if she gave me every person she'd ever banked for and I called them. So she didn't do that. But at the same time, she knew there was nice customers who loved her, who knew of me, that wouldn't care if I called them. So she had, thousands of customers that she did banking with, but she gave me like 20 to 30 nice ones, right? So I think about coworkers. I think about neighbors. Everyone has neighbors. I remember Evan, he was calling his neighborhood directory, and he would always give his house location because of this like big bright green house right beside it. Like, it was like this big, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. He always referenced it on the phone. So one day I asked him, I was like, by the way, have you seen the people in the mint green house? He was like, no. And he talked about him every phone call, but he had never seen him. They were his next door neighbor. So like coworkers, neighbors, family members, right? Like, most people have siblings, they have cousins, they have aunts, they have uncles, like family members. And then you have, church people, and then friends / kids' friends. Like, if honestly they have 0 friends, like, you should be their friend. Michelle, let's just go to Starbucks every 2 weeks. You just tell me how your life's going, right? But like, I mean, if you could honestly get 10 from any one of those areas, but if you got 2 from every one of those areas, that's 50. I mean, that's 10, right? Or sorry, that's 10 right there. 10 from all those areas would be 50. And then you have like different clubs or organizations. So start back going through Gear 1. Like, I would just list out all of your Gear 1 people that you could ask for referrals. Mom, dad, grandma, step-parents, like people who are basically like family, right? They could call them aunt and uncle, even if they're not your actual like aunt and uncle. But like, list out some people and just tie them into your goal. Like, hey, I really want to crush this job. Don't let them prejudge people. Don't give me people you think would definitely buy. All I need is someone that I can call and ask. Even if they say no, that's fine. Some of your biggest sales will come from people that they're like, they'll meet with you, but they probably won't buy anything. Like, I've had people that recommended me to people that were like, these people buy the whole book, that bought a couple pieces. I've had people that they were like, I don't even know if these people can afford to pay attention, and they bought homemakers and signatures and ultimates and all that kind of stuff. So first thing, just close friends and family. Second thing are your networks. You already have a nice bit of warm leads in front of you. You just got to reach out to them. Like, they're going to see a demo from somebody. Like, you go to JL Man, so does a bunch of other people on our team. The mission is that every JL Man mom sees a demo. It's going to be from Winston or Thomas or Alex or, Ben or somebody. So it might as well be from Winston, right? So you go through, like, I think about, like, school. Like, I would just write down right now, like, how many people were in your high school graduating class. So write down, like, high school graduating class. Just best guess, closest 100, right? How many of those people's parents were on your initial list? So, like, Thomas, let's use an example. Where'd you go to high school?
Riverside High.
Riverside, okay. When you brought a list in with you from training, how many people from Riverside High's parents were on that list? None. How many could you realistically reach out to that you'd be comfortable just asking?
None.
None? You just hated everybody? Everybody hated you?
No, I just lost contact with all of them, lost their numbers, so.
Yeah, but are you connected with them on social media?
No.
You don't have social media?
I do. I stopped using it a while ago, and so people unfriended me over time.
I got a lot of people don't.
So I'm starting to use it again since I now need to network more. So.
Yeah, so we can work on that. This is a extreme situation, but I guarantee you, there's 0% chance you get on your Facebook.
I was a bad person.
Cool. Then what a great excuse to have people change that perception of you. Like, seriously. Like, if you were a bad student, you should definitely see all your old teachers.
I was not a bad student.
But I'm just saying, right? Like, were you not in any clubs, no band, no art club, no anything?
Huh?
Like, no band?
I was in band.
Okay, you were in the freaking band. Okay, let's change this. How many people were in the band with you?
164 others, I think.
How many moms do you think if you reached out to and you're like, hey, I don't know if you know me personally, but I'm Thomas. I was in the band with so-and-so. I was wondering if you'd help me out with something I'm doing to earn money for college and build my resume. What percentage of moms do you think would be like, oh, sure, I'd help you out? Okay. So you accept what you think you deserve. Do you want to use that? Do you want to just tell yourself the lie of, oh, not a single person from high school would help me out? Or do you want to put in the work and see who would? Like, that's what you have to decide. Right? You know people. It doesn't matter how well you know them, but they're going to see a demo. It might as well be from you, right? So, you have networks. So like friends, church, sports, clubs, high school, right? So a couple other avenues I would write down. I would list like any clubs you've been in, any team. If you've ever played on a team, whether it be esports, rugby, cricket, softball, like it doesn't matter, right? When you're in an organization with people, that creates a bond. So second gear your networks. To reach out to those people in a way that's not weird, really easy. Page 31 of your manual. Hey, can I see your book there, Jay? Your training manual.
Oh, my training manual.
Mm-hmm. Great job having a folder. I'm going to show you how to teach that and turn that into a lot of recommendations today. Right here, calling friends to get parents' numbers is the easiest thing in the world. If you have your manual, I would turn to page 31, follow along. And it says if you don't have their phone number, which it sounds like you don't have a lot of these people's phone numbers, just reach out to them. It says message them on Facebook, any kind of social media, Snapchat, Instagram, however you have their number, it doesn't really matter. But just reach out to them. So Thomas, imagine you get active on social media and you get this message. Hey, Thomas, hope all is well. And it says add a little personalization. So, hey, hope everything's been going great since graduation. I have a really quick question, but it's too long to type. Can I have your number and give you a call? If you send that out to 100 people, how many do you think are responding?
50% maybe.
Yeah, honestly and truthfully, hey, if you want to hop in here, we can. We're doing a workshop. Honestly and truthfully, probably more like 25 because there's people you'll message it to that are kind of like you where they're taking a hiatus from social media that just don't see it for months, right? But 25, like a decent amount, 25 to 50. A significant amount. And if you're new, it probably doubles the size of your list, right? So they reach out with the phone number and then you call them. So ring, 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 ring. Ring, ring. Ring, ring.
Any of us or?
Yeah, Winston, ring, 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 ring.
Hello?
Hey, Winston. Man, it took you a while to get to your phone. I think you're answered. But anyway, I need you to do me a favor. I'm calling all my friends right now. I just started this new job, and I'm in a huge contest to earn a scholarship. All I have to do is this really quick presentation for people and get their opinion on something. It's pretty easy to do, but I have to see people that are over 30 and own a home, and I was thinking your parents fit that description. I have to actually call and ask them personally about it. Even if they're too busy to do it, that's fine. It helps me just to call and ask them about it. Winston, who's easier to talk to, your mom or your dad?
My mom.
Cool. Can I have her number real quick? It would really help me out.
Sure.
Blah, blah, blah. You write it down? All right. Thanks a lot. I got to go. I really appreciate it. This helps a ton. Pretty easy, right? As it boils down, here's the word I would write down. I would write down the word grit. Realize people appreciate effort and persistence. Like, I think sometimes when people are new, they're scared to reach out to people because they're scared of what people will think. The acronym for fear is false evidence appearing real. Let's break this down. Let's say you reached out to someone from high school who you hadn't talked to in a while. Maybe you weren't even friends that close with them then. You send them a message. What's honestly the worst thing that could possibly happen?
They say no.
They say, I'm not interested in helping you, or they just don't answer at all. Is that really the end of the world? Who cares? You don't talk to them anyway. Like it could not matter less. It could be, it's not like the next day they're at school all pissed. They're like, dude, what's the matter, soul? You wouldn't believe this. Freaking Carson had the nerve to ask me if my mom could help him earn a scholarship for school. He's just going to debt like a normal person. Like, do you honestly, is there a 1% chance of that happening? No. So don't be a freaking weenie. Like, seriously. Like, I mean, think about the only reason I would think someone wouldn't want to reach out to people is if, like, A, you were just scared of what people would think, or B, you thought you were selling a crappy product. But are the knives legit?
Yeah.
Like, if they buy the knives, how often are they using them? Every day. For how long? Literally forever. For the rest of their life. Every time they prepare a meal for their family, they're going to be glad they bought that stuff for you. All you are doing is giving people the opportunity to see Cutco if they want to. They can always tell you no on the phone, and it's not that big of a deal. Like, if they tell you they're not interested, That's okay. Hey, not a big deal. You just call somebody else. Right? That sucks worse for them than it does for you. You're going to book your schedule. Like the reason this job looks so good on a resume, the reason that people the reason when Neha was doing that, was doing that job fair, and as a sophomore, she got job offers from like Hershey Chocolate, the FBI, this company that travel around all summer, and they don't even offer internships to people who aren't juniors or are being junior, senior, is because she could hear the word no. If you think about what you're doing when you do this job, and if you ever decide to leave Cutco, here's what your resume says. You personally created a contact list from your networks. You then professionally contacted those people. You then scheduled professional presentations. You then did the presentations, generated tens of thousands of dollars in revenue in knife sales, and then turned those presentations into thousands of new customers. And you essentially built a business from scratch with nothing. Any company in America wants that person on their team. Any business in America could benefit from that. Any business in America wants to grow. It doesn't matter if it's an enterprise or a church or an athletic league. They want to grow. The Greenville Drive always wants more fans, right? So just grit. Don't let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. If they say no, they say no. You won't tell no, but you will get more yeses than nos if you're persistent. People appreciate persistence. When they can tell you're driven, you're working hard, you want it bad enough, that makes a difference. So second gear. I mean, page 31 tells you how to do that. Another thing I was writing down for second gear with networks are directories. Not all of you have access to directories. I did. I never once called from a directory because I never had access to one. But if you do, that is a huge resource. Neighborhood directories, like country club directories, church directories, or any kind of roster.
So that's not considered cold calling?
No, because you have a connection.
Even if you never met that neighbor? Or that
No.
neighborhood person? Here's
what you do. It's everything's in your manual. When I say everything's in your manual, turn to page 29. This is how you would call from a directory. Trust me, this is all in here, Jack. Check it out later. Hey, can y'all sit together so Jay can look at yours? Yeah. All right, Mark, I'm gonna call you, okay? So, say you were calling from you had in the band. Did you have a roster with parents' numbers and stuff?
Yeah.
Just in case
the neighborhood numbers, even better.
Perfect. So, ring, 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 ring.
Hello.
Hey, Mark, this is Darren Gardner. How are you?
I'm good.
Cool. I don't know if my name rings a bell, but I live down the street from you on Innovation Drive. I'm in your neighborhood. I was hoping you could help me out with something I'm doing. Do you have a quick second?
Yeah.
Cool. What I do is I show a quick presentation to people I've been personally recommended to, like you on a product called Cutco. You may already know about Cutco, but either way, it's a lot of fun, and the best part is I get paid to do the appointments, so there's no pressure to buy. And the more appointments I do, the better chance I have to hit my goal. Now, Mark, I'm in a huge contest. I'm supposed to do 15 appointments by Tuesday, and I only need 3 more. I was hoping I could stop by and see you real quick. Would today at 5:30 or 7:30 be better for you?
7:30 sounds good.
All right, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Simple. Here's the way you call a directory, because you don't want to just cold call straight through it. That you could do that, but that's not the most efficient way. Step 1 is you highlight everyone in the directory that you know of them or they would know of you. So anyone you could say this is Darren Gardner, or I'm Darren Gardner, I'm so-and-so's son, right? If they know your parents, they know your parents have a son or daughter, so therefore they know of you. So you highlight those first, step 1. Step 2, star your stars. You know who the people you want are, right? In your neighborhood, you know those houses that you drive by where you're they need an ultimate for every kitchen in the house, right? You know what I'm talking about. Star those, because people like that are successful, a lot of people know them. In Wilson, the person who lived in the biggest house in my whole town was the Hoopers. Dr. Hooper, he was a chiropractor. He was the only chiropractor in the whole town, and all the Whole Foods moms went to Dr. Hooper. So every time I asked for recommendation, I was by the way, do you know Dr. Hooper? And I got some no's at first. No, we don't know, or we know him, we don't have his number, right? And then all it takes is one yes. All it takes is one person, I'm going to come to club with you. Here's your number. It's really nice. I'll tell him your call.
Why not just go to his office?
Yeah, but that's more trouble than it's worth. Rather than spending a couple hours like driving around Greenville going to offices and trying to bother people at work, it's way better to just call from a list, right? Like, good luck going into a doctor's office and just be like, hey, no, I don't have an appointment. Can I meet with the head doctor? Right? Like, that's probably not happening. I do like where your head's at, but this way works better. So star your stars. Then start off with your like people you know, and every time you ask for referrals, after you've gotten the referrals, show them the directory. Be like, hey, here's the people I know. Who else do you know in this directory? Highlight them. And then you just write their name beside them, and now they're a referral. You can call through a directory. Like if you have, like that's why they give it to you. They give it to you if you ever need to reach out to people in the neighborhood, you can. Right? It says person recommended to because you're referring yourself to them. Right? So directories are gold mines if you can get your hands on a directory. It's just the benchmarks, guys. Here go the benchmarks. At minimum, you need to have 25 people on your list. Like you can fight, no matter if you have the smallest contact list, you can fight and claw and get to 25. With 25, you can book up a week. And then you can turn, with using recommendations, you can turn those into referrals. You can turn those into 25 and 15, grow it. 50 plus is solid. 50 plus, you could book up a week and be a little selective. Like when you have 50 plus, you might not even call 50. You might be like, here's the 25 I really want to see. I'm going to call them twice. And then if I need a few more openings, I'm going to call the next 25. 100 plus is when it starts to get exciting. Because then you just focus on your top 50. Like you don't even call half the list. Like they're like reserves in case you ever need one or two demos, but you just really focus on your top half. You're eliminating a lot of no sales just by doing that, by not calling people who potentially might not buy. And then every 100. Like imagine when you get a list of 500 and you're still focused on your top 50. What do those customers look like? Like that's how you have a weekend where you have someone goes out and does 5 demos on a weekend and sells $5,000. Like that's how they do it. They're intentional. Right? Like Jake doesn't schedule an appointment on Saturday unless he knows they can buy a $1,000+ order. And he tries to schedule 7 of them. Right? He doesn't have 7K Saturdays every Saturday, but with that intention, he sells $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 every Saturday. Thinking 50% of that don't suck.
It's a good Saturday.
It's a really good Saturday.
Yeah.
So that's second gear. So all of your networks, your directories, your old bosses, right? Old bosses are great people to show Cutco to. Third gear is chicken list people. These are people that honestly, if this is your first week, I wouldn't expect you to call them right now, right? Like, cause it would be weird. Like, hey, I wouldn't call them and say I just started a new job and you do this practice appointment and you're the closest person I thought of. But like, I think about like someone like Carson. You've been doing this for 3 years now, right? At this point, you get it because like you're nervous when you're new because you're like, I don't know what people think. But after doing demos, do you honestly think people think less of you after the demo?
No, they definitely think more.
Right.
And I was like a person in high school. I had a bad reputation, and just the fact that I did demo for someone definitely turned that around. And people were always asking me like how I'm doing.
Yeah. Like when you sit down with them and you have the courage to go out, put yourself out there, book those demos, they respect that. So once you see that people respect that, it's a good thing. Call random people. These will lead you to some of your best leads. The biggest order, or the second biggest order I ever got, was from a lady who used to be a regular at the pool I lifeguarded at. I didn't call her my very first week. I didn't call her second week. It was like third or fourth week on the job. I saw her number on my phone. I was like, I know she would see me, right? Because like I taught her kids swim lessons. So like, and I called her up. I was like, hey, I was wondering if you could help me out with this thing I'm doing to earn money for college, blah, blah, blah. I was like, sure, I'd love to help you. And she didn't buy a ton. She did like a buy 3, get 1 free. But she recommended me to her sister. Her sister bought an essential set. And then her sister recommended me to Suzette Gibson. Suzette Gibson's husband was a surgeon. Miss Suzette bought an ultimate set for herself and a homemaker set for her sister. It was like a $3,000 order and recommended to all these other doctors' wives. But see, had I never seen that lady from the pool, I would have never gotten Miss Suzette's recommendation. You're never out of people. There's 1.3 million people in the upstate. Like, the average person, this was before social media. So this was like a study done in Forbes or Fortune magazine in like early 2000. They found the average person knows 1,000 people by name and face. That was pre-social media. Think about now with social media, like everyone's got Facebook, especially old people. Old people love Facebook. Carson's mom loves Facebook, dude. I'm her Facebook friend. She likes all my stuff. I like all her stuff, right? Dude, old people are all about some Facebook. Like, my dad doesn't talk to anybody. He's got like 1,000 friends. Like, I didn't even think he had one friend. Right? I love him, but he just never does anything. Like, seriously, it's out there. You have every opportunity to be as great at this as you want to be. It's just a matter of making a decision to go out and get it. I gave you guys some tools today. There's definitely more ways we could dig in with this, right? But the main thing is just reach out. Like, don't worry about so much like. Here's the quote I'll end you with. This is really the theme about reaching out to people. Okay, I'll write this down. Give up the need to be perfect. Give up the need to be perfect. So don't worry about like what I say. Just say something. Give up the need to be perfect for the opportunity to be authentic. So give up the need to be perfect for the opportunity to be authentic. Like, I'm going to use you as an example. Because I know you go to Burns, and I know Burns is a very diverse high school. I know there's some freaking loaded kids at Burns, and I know there's some just dirt poor people and everything in between, right? And like, I can tell, Mark, you're hungry, you got drive, but also I get the vibe that you probably don't have the strongest initial list, right? Maybe you do, I don't really know, but am I right? But do you know who those moms you want to see are? You know the kid who got the new truck when he turned 16, right? Just if you were to reach out to those people and be like, look, I know you don't know me that well, but I'm really trying to impact my life. I've got an opportunity that I see a lot of potential in, and I was seeing if you could help me. Most people are going to help you. And it doesn't take many of those appointments for the mom to fall in love with you and recommend you to her old tennis team, or recommend you to her whole book club, or her cooking club. How often is that? That's the thing. Like, people have cooking clubs. Like, they just cook a meal and get together every month. Right? Like, you don't need many. You need if you don't have the strongest list, you need a handful of good ones to get the ball rolling. Right? You need those, I call them game changers. You need that one game changer demo. Like Miss Suzette's demo was a game changer for me. Right? So